Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. Hey, you ever heard the term scapegoat? Like, hey, man, that guy's just using me as a scapegoat. Well, actually, that term actually is a biblical term, and it came from the Bible. And it actually came from this chapter, Leviticus chapter 16, where it talks about the scapegoat. The scapegoat was something that was used symbolically during the Day of Atonement, and it was something to symbolically that the priests actually laid their hands on the scapegoat, thus symbolically transferring the sin to that scapegoat. And then the goat was like set free and like chased out of the camp, okay, to go way out into the wilderness. Who knows? Eventually it's going to die out there. But it was out there, and it would leave. So symbolizing your sins have been taken away. As far as the east is from the west, the sins are not there anymore, and that's what that scapegoat is signifying. So today it talks about that here in Leviticus chapter 16, and we're finishing up that chapter today. We're going to read verses 20 through 34 here. All right. So it says this: when Aaron had finished purifying the most holy place and the tabernacle and the altar, he must present the live goat. He will lay both hands on the goat's head and confess over it all the wickedness, rebellion, and sins of the people of Israel. Okay? In this way he will transfer the people's sins to the head of the goat. Then a man specially chosen for the task will drive the goat into the wilderness. As the goat goes into the wilderness, it will carry all the people's sins upon itself into a desolate land. Okay? So this goat came, we read about it yesterday. There was two goats chosen. One was sacrificed, and it was just randomly by lot. One was sacrificed, and then one was the scapegoat. And we're talking about that scapegoat today, that it was taken, and now we just saw how hands were laid upon that scapegoat, transferring the sins, okay? And he says, he confesses all the sins over it of all the people of Israel and himself, and so forth. That's going to take a long time to do that. So he does that, and then he has a person that's designated to drive the goat away. And when I say, drive it, I mean like hit it with a whip to get it out of the area. That's what would happen here. And it was symbolic of, as the goat goes into the wilderness, that's the verse here, it will carry all the people's sins upon itself into the desolate land. Sin is gone. Okay, so let's keep reading verse 23. When Aaron goes back into the tabernacle, he must take off the linen garments he was wearing when he entered the most holy place, and he must leave the garments there. Then he must bathe himself with the water in the sacred place, and put on the regular garments, and go out to sacrifice a burnt offering for himself and a burnt offering for the people. Through this process, he will purify himself and the people, making them right with the Lord. He must then burn all the fat of the sin offering on the altar. The man chosen to drive the scapegoat into the wilderness of Azal must wash his clothes and bathe himself in water. Then he may return to the camp. The bull and the goat presented as the sin offering, whose blood Aaron takes into the most holy place for purification, will be carried outside the camp. The animal's hides, internal organs, and dung are to all be burned. The man who burns them must wash his clothes and bathe himself in water before returning to the camp. So they must have had an out of camp bathing area for some of this stuff to happen. Verse 29, on the 10th day of the appointed month in the early autumn you must deny yourselves. Neither native-born Israelites nor foreign living among you may do any kind of work. This is a permanent law for you. On that day, offerings and purification will be made for you, and you will be purified in the Lord's presence from your sins. It will be a Sabbath day of complete rest for you, and you must deny yourselves. This is a permanent law for you. In the future generations, this purification ceremony will be performed by the priest who has been anointed and ordained to serve as high priest in the place of Aaron. He will put on the holy linen garments and purify the most holy place, the tabernacle, the altar, the priest, and the entire congregation. This is a permanent law for you to purify the people of Israel from their sins, making them right with the Lord once each year. Moses followed all these instructions exactly as the Lord had commanded him. Let me reread that verse 34. This is a permanent law for you, to purify the people of Israel from their sins, making them right with the Lord once each year. Okay? We talked about sin yesterday. You were probably tired of me talking about sin, that you are a sinner. But this whole ceremony was done to purify the people from their sins they had committed all year long. And so that was the purpose of it, as a cleansing and a purification with the sacrifice, and then also with the scapegoat. All right. So hopefully that makes sense with everything. I want to thank you for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through Leviticus. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.